Call the Clewiston City Commission meeting to order. It's Monday, September 16th, 2024 at 5 p.m. If you would stand and join me in a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Father, we thank you for this opportunity to gather together just to come about the city's business. And Lord, we seek your wisdom, your counsel on every decision that's made, that it will be what's best for the city. We thank you for blessing this city and the citizens and for protecting us in so many ways. And we do thank you for our first responders, law enforcement, firefighters, Father. We ask that you continue to protect them, and we give you the honor and glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Manager, any changes to the agenda?
No, Mayor, no changes.
Okay, at this time, we'll have public comments. If anyone would like to speak on any item concerning the city, you can come to the microphone and please state your address and your name. If it's an agenda item, you're more than welcome to wait until that item comes up. Seeing none, let's move on to the consent agenda.
Move that we approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mayor, I'd like to pull out K and L and move to the regular agenda so we can have discussion.
Okay, item K, item L. We'll pull those items. So the consent agenda without those items. I have a motion, an amended motion.
Yes.
And second.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's go ahead and cover item.
I'm sorry, L and M. I apologize, L and M.
Okay, we'll change that to item L and M. You guys will amend your motions in seconds.
Motion amended. Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, item L is the renewal of the Clewiston Sykes building lease with Little Disciples Learning Center. Any discussion?
On these now.
Yeah, we'll just do them now. Can we?
Yeah.
That's all right, Dylan, right? If we just discuss them now?
All right.
Okay.
As we've discussed in the past, I believe these rates need to be adjusted. I don't think they're fair market value, and it's our responsibility, our fiduciary responsibility to get that. Last time I brought it up, the city manager, quite honestly, I don't think was very truthful on the cost of those. I think he quoted less than $100 for the year that this place cost us. If you know the facility, it has quite a bit of property. They have a park to themselves because it's closed from, I think, 8 to 5 to the public. Public's not allowed to use it. It's exclusive to this group. And I believe we need to adjust the cost accordingly. Kind of how we come about that, I'll leave it up to the commission. Whether we do some market research, we bid it, or we just add a dollar amount to it. Get a better return on it. It hasn't been changed, I don't think, several years. And I think it's something we need to look at, whether we make a decision tonight or table it so we have some time.
You know when the lease comes due?
The end of this month. I think it was adjusted last year.
It was.
I guess I can get those for you.
It was $500 a month, but I think for me, when you have a lease agreement with somebody and less than 30 days before it doesn't that's come for renewal, I think it's a hardship for that business. So I think that you bring up some good points, but I thought that we had some cost included that every year it would escalate up to cover the cost. No? Okay. I just think I think it's just too short of a notice right now, especially if it's the lease is due at the end of the month. I don't think we should put a business into that kind of jeopardy. I believe it would be better that this be at the forefront of the city manager and our city clerk and the attorney to look at. But I think we should go ahead and renew it for a year.
But we can always extend it for a few months. It's not the city manager's responsibility. It's the commission's fiduciary responsibility to get the best return on that property. As a matter of fact, I think it is Florida statute that is our responsibility. on properties that we're not using, but we own. And I feel we fell short on practically every piece of property that we're leasing as of now.
We can always go to a month to month. Sure. Until we,
I mean, this is a for-profit business. I believe it's a hardship on our citizens. So I would at least ask for us to look at it, take some time to look at it, and have further discussion. Maybe look into what properties in the area are going for, and go from there.
okay, you want to make a motion?
Now, is this going to be all or just
The two,
okay?
we might as well. I'll make a motion. We table L&M until next month, which is Resolution 2024-09 and 2024-068.
But don't we need to include something in there that we're not going to let their lease expire on October 1st and
I
expect
was
them
going
to
to make
like?
that the second
Oh,
motion.
okay, sorry.
I'm sorry, I should have explained that.
My bad.
Or maybe that should have been first. But if we move this motion, it's my intent to extend it. What would you, 3 months?
At least 90 days.
Okay, motion on the floor.
So we're going to table it for 90 days, or we're going to discuss it at next meeting to bring it up?
My motion
And
is to table
rediscuss
this until next month to discuss it.
Okay.
Now, we'll make another motion to extend their leases for 90 days. So regardless of what we do, it'll be extended in 90 days, and we can decide to extend it for a year, 2 years, whatever their extension is.
Okay, a motion to table.
I just have a comment that one's a nonprofit and one's a for-profit.
For Hope Hospice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that when we looked at the nonprofit, we looked at it closely on the cost at that time, and they pay for the utility cost as well. So, but anyway, so I think it's two different. The first one is for profit, and the other is a nonprofit. So,
And
just want to clarify that.
I think it's important that we remember too how hard it is to find childcare for small children. I'm not saying, that we don't have the responsibility that you're talking about, but finding childcare for small children is hard, and finding affordable childcare is even harder. So that's just something we need to bear in mind,
I agree. But I don't feel the city should
No.
should subsidize. a
No,
business.
I'm not saying that. I'm just,
And at those rates, I think we are.
You'll want that next meeting, all the information, the rates, and then
So not make a decision today,
right.
but an opportunity to have some
Okay.
time to look at it and get some more information.
That's for both.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor to table item L and item N until the following meeting, until the October meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, they are tabled.
I'd like to make a motion to extend both these leases for the next 90 days at the same rates.
Current rate, okay.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Thompson, second by Highslope to extend 90 days at the current rate. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion carries. And then the manager knows to bring all the costs,
Yep.
maintenance, insurance, whatever we're spending. Okay, well, that's the consent agenda. All right, we have the final budget hearing tonight. And let me find the right paper. Can we discuss all three, A, B, and C, under just item 2 and do motions, or should we do separate?
You'll need to do them separately.
Okay. Okay, this is a public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing Meeting is to accept the input of all interested parties relative to the discussion, consideration, and approval of the fiscal year 2024-25 proposed millage rate and operating budget for the city of Clewiston. This meeting represents the final hearing in this process, and it will be noticed by publishing as required by law. At this time, fiscal year 2024-2025 budget hearing is open. If anyone from the public would like to speak concerning the budget, you can approach the microphone and please state your name and address. The city of Clewiston, Florida proposes a tax on all property located within the city at the rate of 6.3743 mils for the fiscal year 2024-2025. The rate of 6.3743 mils represents the rollback millage rate as defined by the Florida statutes. The total of the proposed capital and operating budget for the fiscal year 2024-25 is $39,421,986. At this time, any comments by the public? Seeing none. Resolution 2024-070, a resolution of the City of Clewiston, Florida, adopting a millage rate for the levy of ad valorem taxes for the fiscal year 2024-25. Any discussion by the commission?
I just want to reiterate again, that this is the rollback rate, last year's millage.
I move we approve resolution 2024-070.
A second.
Motion by Thompson, second by Edmonds. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution 2024-071 is a resolution of the City of Clewiston, Florida, adopting the budget for fiscal year 2024-2025. And I will read that one by title. Resolution 2024-071, a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, adopting the budget for fiscal year 2024-25. At this time, we'll open the floor for public comments. Seeing no movement, any discussion by the commission? All right, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Gardner, second by Highslope. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. And item C is Resolution 2024-072. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, adopting the city's capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2024-25. Anyone from the public like to speak on that? Any discussion by the commission? Okay, a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Highslope, second by Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Once again, congratulations, Randy, Danny. Y'all did an awesome job. We were able to hit the rollback rate.
Yeah, I agree. Randy, you did an excellent job.
And still make some improvement.
And staff. Appreciate
Yes.
staff. And you guys.
Yes.
Great job.
It was a great process. I enjoyed it.
Okay, item 3 on the agenda is Resolution 2024-073. I'll read that by title. Resolution 2024-073 is a resolution of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, approving the award through piggyback contract of the City of Orlando, agreement number IFB 23-0119, dated July 31st, 2023, as amended by amendment number 1, dated May 1st, 2024, for sidewalk inspection, grinding, removal, and repair services as needed by the city to American Grinding Company, LLC, DBA American Sidewalk Management, authorizing the execution of a contract with the awardee, providing an effective date and for other purposes. This is a budgeted item.
Yeah, we got 50,000 in the budget. These guys will be basically doing small repairs. It's not major repairs. They'll go around and do small sections.
We already have some areas identified.
Yes, quite a few.
Motion?
I move we approve resolution 2024-073.
Second.
Motion by Thompson, second by Edmonds. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 4 on the agenda is Resolution 2024-055. I'll read that by title. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, approving the annexation agreement between United States Sugar Corporation and the City of Clewiston regarding the annexation of approximately 477 acres, an acre parcel located in Section 7 and 8, Township 43 South, Range 34 East, Henry County, Florida, into the City of Clewiston.
I'll motion that we approve it.
Second.
Motion by Highslope, second by Gardner. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Mayor, before you introduce these next items, we have a number of applications that are coming up on the agenda. Items number 5, 6, 7, and 9 are all applications. And I'd like to swear in any individuals who will be giving testimony regarding those applications. So if there's anyone present here in the audience who plans to give any testimony regarding items 5, 6, 7, or 9, I need to swear you in after I shut my phone off. Later, Mom. So if you could please stand and raise your right hand. You solemnly swear or affirm under penalties of perjuries and the laws of the state of Florida to tell the whole truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'd also like to ask if any members of the commission have had any ex parte communications with any of the applicants regarding any of these agenda items.
Have not.
None.
Okay, you may proceed.
All right, item 5 on the agenda is ordinance number 2024-10. It is the final reading. And I'll read that by title first. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, providing for the annexation of an additional territory owned by the United States Sugar Corporation to be included within the city boundaries in accordance with Articles 8, Section 2C of the Constitution of the State of Florida and Section 171.044 Florida statutes as amended, providing for an effective date and for other purposes. This is a public hearing, so I'll declare the public hearing open. If there's anyone from the audience that would like to speak, please approach the microphone and state your name and address or company you're with. Seeing no one, I'll declare the public hearing closed. And any comments by the commission? Okay, we'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Gardner,
Second.
second by Edmonds. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 6 on the agenda is ordinance number 2024-08. I'll read that by title. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, providing for the annexation of additional territory owned by Henry County School Board to be included within the city boundaries in accordance with Article 8, Section 2C of the Constitution of the State of Florida and Section 171.044 of the Florida statutes as amended, providing for an effective date and for other purposes. I'll declare the public hearing open. If anyone from the audience would like to speak, you can approach the microphone. Seeing none, we'll declare the public hearing closed and any discussion by the commission. Entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Edmonds.
Second.
Second by Highslope. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7 is also another public hearing that is for the final reading. It is ordinance number 2024-09, By title, it says, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, providing for the annexation of additional territory owned by Kelly Tractor Company to be included within the city boundaries in accordance with Article 8, Section 2C of the Constitution of the State of Florida and Section 171.044 Florida statutes as amended, providing for an effective date and for other purposes. The public hearing is now open. If anyone from the audience would like to come up and speak. Seeing none, we'll declare the public hearing closed and any discussion by the commission.
Move that we approve resolution.
Motion by Gardner,
Second.
second by Thompson. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Another final reading for ordinance 2024-11. I'll read that by title. An ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, adopting an amendment to its comprehensive development plan in accordance with mandates set forth in Section 163.3184 Florida statutes pursuant to a privately initiated application which provides for an amendment to the city future land use map, creating the employment hub district and redesignating 5 parcels of real property comprising of approximately 477 acres plus or minus, more or less in size, currently designated Henry County multi-use as employment hub district. Such parcels of land are located north of US 27 and directly west of the prior existing city boundary, further providing for transmittal to the State Land Planning Agency, providing for conflicts, severability, providing for an effective date, and for other purposes. The public hearing is now open. If anyone would like to approach the microphone, any comments? Seeing none, we'll declare the public hearing closed and entertain any discussion from the commission.
Just like to say this is a big move for the city and in the right direction in my view. I just would encourage the developer to expedite their plans and let's get moving on this as quick as we can. A lot of possibilities there. Good possibility. So I would move we approve ordinance 2024-12.
There's
11.
That's what I said.
Okay. Okay, motion by Thompson, second by Highslope. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, item 9 on the agenda is a public hearing final reading. This is ordinance number 2024-12. By title, this ordinance says, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, providing for the rezoning of certain real property within the corporate limits of the City of Clewiston, which property consists of 5 parcels of land lying in Section 7 and 8, Township 43, Range 34, East Henry County, Florida, and more particularly described in Exhibit A to this ordinance, providing that these parcels of real property shall be assigned to the city zoning designation of PUD, Plan Unit Development District, Clewiston 440, providing that the zoning map of the City of Clewiston be amended to reflect the proper designation for these parcels, providing that a master concept plan for the project is hereby approved in accordance with Section 110-457 of the City of Clewiston Zoning Code, providing for conflicts, severability, effective date, and other purposes. I'll declare the public hearing open. If anyone from the public would like to come up and make any comments at this time. Seeing none, we'll declare that public hearing closed and any discussion from the commission.
Mr. Mayor, I know that you mentioned the map, and just because it's not on there, that the map is actually, like you said, 447 acres west of the existing city limits on the western end, so it's west of the railroad tracks. And that this parcel not only goes from the highway, but it crosses the railroad tracks to the Glades County line. So it really is a nice parcel for the plan unit development that will bring in retail, commercial, and multifamily housing. So that correct? Resident, no housing. Okay, just commercial and I was looking at commercial and industrial. Okay, good. Thank
Any
you.
other discussion? We'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Highslope,
Second.
second by Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
I will say, in a lot of other cities, the city attorney reads out the ordinances.
You want to take over, this file with me? He was saying the attorney normally reads these.
I was actually going to mention something.
Trying to help you.
I'm happy to do that if you'd like me to.
You did great.
We may do that next time. This next one may not be as long. And this is the last one, so. This is ordinance 2024-14. This is also a public hearing, final reading. And by title, it's an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Clewiston, Florida, amending the Clewiston Code of Ordinance, Chapter 58, Peddlers and Solicitors, creating Article 2, Mobile Food Vendors, creating a framework for the operation of mobile food vending within the city, providing for an inclusion, the Code of Ordinance, conflict, severability, providing for an effective date. Let's see, this is a final reading of an ordinance, so if anyone from the public would like to come up and speak, I know we have some food vendors out there tonight. Seeing none, then we'll declare the public hearing closed. Any further discussion from the commission?
I'd just like to say we're moving forward, not exactly how a lot of people want, but this is a start. The governor's kind of tied our hands on what we can do, so we're trying to do something, help out with the local vendors, and we'll see how this goes, and we'll work from there.
Yeah, and I would encourage public feedback over the next few months as this ordinance is enacted. Tell us what you think about the food trucks. Tell us what you like and you don't like. This is new to us, putting restrictions and allowing for different days of service by you guys. So let us know what your customers are saying.
But it actually opens it up more than it has in the past. I mean, there's some guidelines that we have to follow, but I think that it is an opportunity to see how well the mobile food vendors do on certain days of the week, plus knowing that there's going to be additional events for the city, and it'll be an opportunity for family gatherings. So I see it as a positive step forward. But again, taking in consideration the mobile food vendors as well as the brick and mortar restaurants as well. So I think it's a good start to see how that works out.
Okay, I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Highslope, second by Gardner. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that's all the ordinances and the resolutions tonight. I asked the chief earlier today if we had some further discussion concerning the Explorers, and even in the Okeechobee newspaper there was an article. So before the meeting today, I had a conversation with the chief and just asked him to, for all of our benefit, just to explain the facts of what's going on with the Explorers, and thank you guys for what you do with the Explorers.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I apologize. This is playing out yet again in a public forum, which is certainly avoidable for the most part. So as you guys know, last month at the regularly scheduled meeting, Mr. Rolly Gonzalez came here with a group of explorers in concern that the Explorers program is going to be eliminated, that funding was going to be cut, and that we were no longer going to have a program. Of course, at that meeting, not only did we educate the public and the explorers that was not the case. The program is actually very well supported, and it's never been better funded. There was some confusion, obviously, and we didn't know how far that spread into the Explorers program. So the first thing I did was I called for a parents' meeting. Not to skip too far ahead, but just for the public's edification and knowledge. So this morning I was contacted by a reporter with Lake Okeechobee News, who had told me that she got an email from Mr. Rolly Gonzalez, which states some of the following. The program is not going well. There has not been any engagement with the Explorer program. The chief is deceptive. Now there is one rookie officer with the department that's been assigned to essentially take over the program. After this email was sent, and I was contacted by the reporter. She asked for some clarification, which I provided to her. There was an article in the online version of the Okeechobee News that is published today. And just of note, there are some quotes, again, that I'd like to just bring to your attention. One of them says, Gonzalez said they have not heard anything from Officer Birch, who was our new leader, post advisor. Quote, my son went to boot camp, and since he came back, he has heard, quote, nothing at all. Quote, he has not heard anything from the new post advisor at all, end quote. The unfortunate thing is, not only last month did we experience a lot of misinformation that kind of circled around the community and then this commission, it continues today. The things that I just read to you are without question just straight up lies. So what I'd like to do is take a minute, let you guys know what's been going on with the Explorer program since we last spoke at the last commission meeting, and obviously let the public know what the facts are before they actually read the article. So, like I had mentioned to you guys, we didn't know how far a lot of this misinformation from last month had been spread. So the day after the commission meeting, which would have been August 20th, I sent an email to every parent in the Explorer program, which included Mr. Gonzalez, with this letter. Just a professional letter saying, hey, there's some confusion. Obviously, there's misinformation going around. We'd like to have a parents' meeting. We'd like you to come to the police department, ask any questions that you have, explain how the program is going to move forward. We're obviously going to introduce Officer Birch as our new leader of the program at that meeting. In addition to that, which again, the day after our meeting, Officer Birch communicated with all of the explorers. So I communicated with the parents. Officer Birch communicated with all the explorers. That communication that Officer Birch had with the explorers is actually done through Rolly Gonzalez Jr. as he kind of leads, those kids in the program. Rolly Jr. was actually made aware of the parents' meeting, and he was informed at that point in writing that we were going to have an explorers meeting after the parents' meeting. We wanted to make sure the parents are all on the same page before we move forward with their children. So 7 days later, Officer Birch sent another communication through Rolly Jr. regarding the explorers meeting and actually when they were supposed to attend teen court. 2 days after that, on August 29th, Sergeant Conyers actually supervised the explorers in teen court. We did have a meeting. We are participating in the program. The program is back up and running. The same day that they went to teen court, we held the parents' meeting. This is a 45-minute meeting. It was held by me personally. There were Officer Birch, a lot of our police department staff was interested considering what was going on in the public eye. And we had 5 parents total, to include Rolly Gonzalez Sr., who was there the entire time. We reiterated to them that the program was going nowhere. It has never been better funded. We talked about Officer Birch. I introduced him. We went over the fact that he has 25 years of law enforcement experience. He also has 2 kids in the program. I don't think there's a police officer that has a better interest in the program's success when his own children are a part of it. In addition to that, we kept Sergeant Conyers actually on as one of the post advisors because those kids already have a relationship with him. So we have some continuity there where the kids trust Sergeant Conyers while Officer Birch kind of gets up and running, with our new direction. So after that parents meeting, we realized there were a lot of parents that were not able to attend, whether it be through work or other obligations. So we sent out, I personally did, just after the meeting, an entire recap of the meeting. And so every parent really now should be well aware of exactly what was said in the meeting, those type of things, to include the fact that Officer Birch has 25 years of law enforcement experience. 2 days after that, Officer Birch sent a communication again to Rolly Gonzalez Jr. that he was setting a new explorers meeting for September the 5th. They had some email communication back and forth. Unfortunately, Officer Birch got sick. They ended up pushing the meeting to the 12th. That meeting ultimately did take place with, again, more communications back and forth between Officer Birch and Rolly Gonzalez Jr. That meeting was held at the police department on the 12th. 4 days later, Officer Birch again sent communication to Rolly Gonzalez Jr., scheduling a meeting for this Thursday, September 19th, at the police department. To suggest, quote, there has not been any engagement with the Explorer program, quote, there's been no meetings held, and quote, now one new rookie officer has been assigned to the thing, is without question just straight up lies. These are fabricated pieces of drama. For what motive or intention, I'm not really sure. But I want the public to understand that the Explorer program is alive and well. It's being run properly through an accredited agency, and everything is great. And that's all I have to say. Is there any questions?
I do, Tom. What exactly does the what does the Explorers do? What do they do?
So the Explorer program is really meant, first off, to mentor children, right? It gives them an avenue to stay out of the criminal justice system while exposing them to what law enforcement does on a daily basis. Some Explorer programs are really focused on developing future employees, right? And so we hope that through this mentor program, we will get future dispatchers. We're going to get future police officers. We may get future evidence technicians and so forth. That always isn't the case. But in any realm, you're really steering these kids and guiding them through life to make sure that they know, they're talking to somebody they can trust. They're getting good advice when they come to you. And that's really the value. We're taking kids that may not have another outlet, and we're making sure that they're being mentored by folks that you know have their best interest at heart.
And they are the responsibility of the officer.
Correct. We have rules, right? One of the things that we do is we teach them the law enforcement environment. And so a lot of that comes with chain of command and following policies and things like that. We don't want anybody, any one of our explorers, to do anything outside of the Explorer program unless they're with one of our police officers.
This is a national program.
It is. It's run through the Scouts of America, formerly the Boy Scouts of America. We have agreements with them that we're going to conduct ourselves a certain way. So this is a program that has lots of policies and structure. It's just not something where an individual can come in and take over and decide that that's how it's going to be.
How many young people do we have involved right now?
So right now, I believe we have 20 or 21. Unfortunately, we had a young lady that left and said she was going to do something else. That's occasionally happens.
And Tom, through the years, I mean, the number has been much lower. So I applaud the officers that have been working with the program to bring it up to where it's at today, because I know it takes a lot of time and hard work to get it to where it was at.
It really does. We have. I apologize for cutting you off. We have very dedicated staff. We do. And, as you can imagine, sometimes it's hard enough to have one teenager in your house. And imagine having 25. I mean, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of teenage emotions that go into it, but our staff are very dedicated in, trying to lead these kids to a better life, for sure. Yeah.
And I know it just didn't happen overnight. It's been several years that they've been working on the program to bring it to where it's at. And so in the commitment, I know that this past summer, I saw that, that you guys posted through the police department, the success of the program, of how well the camp went, and we certainly had hoped to recognize those young men and women at this meeting. If not this meeting, of course, another meeting for their hard work. But also, I did not know all that was happening behind the scenes, and so it's a complete surprise to me that all this has been happening. And I'm disappointed that we've had to go through this, but I'm also glad that you publicly are laying out the facts and speaking the truth of the program. But I was so happy today hearing about another opportunity for the Explorers Club, and you were there, and you automatically volunteered the Explorers Club to get together with their commanders to see if this how this would all work out. So I had no doubt in my mind that the program was strong and doing well. I just am disappointed to hear all this stuff that's happened that we've had to spend time on. But I'm glad it's clarified for the future. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hopefully this will end it. We'll see. I might be back next month.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom.
Good job, Tom.
This ends it. And I'm
Good
very
job.
disappointed in the Lake Okeechobee News for not following up and getting the facts before they printed the story. But hopefully they'll watch online, or maybe you can even send them.
I'll definitely communicate.
Send them the facts, and if they print something, fine. If they don't, fine. But I really just wanted our citizens to know. So thank you for that report. Okay.
My name is Rolly Gonzalez.
Oh, whoa.
Get some clarification.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, just a minute, sir. Excuse me. Hang on, we're moving through the agenda right now.
I know, but my name was mentioned. And like Ms. Gardner said, the program has been fabulous. The program has been great, and I commend the officers that have taken this program, like from very small group of young men to where they were till a few weeks ago. Amazing job. But one of my biggest concerns was, and all this was brought up because it was said that Sergeant Roberts decided to step down.
We're not
No,
going through. He said, she said. We're not doing it
we're
tonight.
not gonna go through.
No,
But
you're
again,
doing
we're
it
going
now.
through
We're
this thing.
not doing it.
Listen, it's not.
Please sit down and we'll get to the end of the
They can say
agenda.
This, deception.
Well,
is
you
not
need to
deception.
write it
We wanna
down.
be clear on what we talk about.
You know,
all the
no, you
time.
need to write down. Write it down. Write it down in a letter and send it to the manager, and he will distribute it to us.
Sure.
This is over. He explained the facts, and we're done with
But you
it.
say it's
Everything's
facts.
fine.
Well, it's facts, not facts, because I'm saying
Okay.
that I was lying. And absolutely not.
Well, the paper said you did.
Well, the paper,
Okay.
politics.
Then you shouldn't have
No, it
called
is.
them. You shouldn't have called the
Definitely, I
paper.
will.
Thank you. Now, old business. There's a list of old business still in our book. Any comments on?
I just am thankful that the staff looked at this and updated the list. I think it makes it really clear on where our workshops need to be in the future. And certainly appreciate the staff put it in concisely on the front page here.
I agree. A document that was like 12 pages is now.
Well, and I mean, I know that
consolidated.
the rest of it's back there, but it's just nice to know that
Yep.
this is a focus. This is
Yep.
where and I know it was in there to begin with, but it's just nice, Kathy. Thank you for having it organized like this for us. Thank you.
Would you want to keep the old stuff still on here to remind you, or would you like us to remove it that's completed?
I don't think that we necessarily need to take it off because it might be something that, one of us
Remind
think
you.
of and then we're like, oh no, we looked
Sure.
at that,
Maybe after so many months, take it off. But,
Okay.
or years.
yeah. Well,
Maybe
even a
18
year.
months or
Not all
something.
of us have Molly's
Yeah.
memory.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else on old business? Activity reports from departments? Okay, comments from the manager?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the board and city staff for the flowers for my brother. I really appreciate that. Kind of tough times right now. Thank you.
We've been thinking about you, Danny. You and Libby both.
Tough.
Yeah, it is.
It is, it's tough, but we're praying for you.
Thank you.
City attorney?
Thank you, Mayor. I have 3 items I'd like to go over. One of them is just an update for the police perk issue. Just to give you all an update. As you know, we retained employment counsel to handle that matter. Right now, we are currently waiting on a final order from the administrative law judge at PERC, essentially approving the classification unit, at which point likely a election will be ordered, and it will likely occur via mail-in ballots. I've been told that PERC is extremely busy right now, and that we might be looking at several months before that final order is given out from the admin law judge. Just wanted to provide you all with an update on that matter. Second item I wanted to discuss is an update regarding the Clewiston Commons litigation. As I briefly touched on previously, there was a settlement discussions between the city's insurance and the plaintiffs in that case. That settlement agreement has been reached and has been signed by the plaintiffs. So that case will be dismissed likely very soon in the near future. Third item I wanted to discuss the city's currently existing backlog of code enforcement liens. We initiated a lien forgiveness program a few months back to give an opportunity for some individuals to come into compliance and significantly reduce the amounts of those liens. Unfortunately, I don't believe anyone took advantage of that program. At this point, I'd be prepared to move forward to bringing the foreclosure proceedings on those liens, if that's
So move.
the direction the
But
city would like
let
to
me,
go.
can I just ask a question? I mean, those are for non-homestead, I mean, not.
Non-homestead.
Right,
Correct.
correct. So these, a lot of these are commercial properties.
Correct.
Okay. And I think that we had a list at one time, it listed like 6 or 7 of them, anywhere from 95,000 to 28,000, somewhere in there. So can you, if we could get that list again so everybody can look at it before and then go from there with it. I think we've been talking about this for several years
Yes.
now. And I just think that, we talk about the best use of city taxpayer dollars, and when we talk about a rent, going up a couple $100 on a rent, these numbers are much bigger than just a monthly rent amount. So,
Sure.
so it would be good to see that list again and be able to review it again.
And beginning those proceedings and getting the authorization to move forward with a foreclosure action doesn't necessarily preclude a future settlement between the city and the property owner.
So you'll have this. I mean, will this be something that's on? I know that was on motion. I guess I don't know if it was just yes, let's get it done. If this is going to be on the commission agenda for next month, or,
Sure.
or
If you'd
so
like
that
a
we could-
report next month, then
I just think it. I think we need to look at it again. I mean,
Right.
it's been. I think it was back in July when we were. And maybe it was July of 2023, but that originally we had that list. So I think it's time to look at it again and then just actually lay out the steps for us so that we're aware of it.
understood.
Dylan,
Yes, sir.
something I've been discussing with Danny on some of these blighted properties, high grass and stuff. Instead of just writing warning after warning after warning for years, what's it going to take? So we just hire, a contract out mowing it and bill it to them. Those are hard costs we're able to recoup at the end of the day, anyways. Most other cities do that already. Do we need a policy in place? Do we need an ordinance? What do we need to make that happen here?
Abatement is a very common practice through municipalities. I'm fairly certain that your code already contemplates the ability to do that. It's just a slight change in the relief that you're requesting through the special magistrate. So instead of following a normal magistrate process, you just specifically go in and request for the abatement. Once that's approved, you send the folks out to mow the lawn, whatever it is, and the cost of that is imposed against the property.
Debbie.
I feel that's something we need to start immediately.
And you believe it's already on the codes as it is?
I'll
'Cause
double check.
I think so.
I'm so sorry. Just to update you just a little bit historically, there was an ordinance once that said once you got the door knocker on your door, if you did not mow your yard within 7 days, we went out there and mowed it. That's how we have all those outstanding mowing liens currently. So it created a huge debt that was not recoverable for us at that time, and that's why it was removed from your ordinances. But and I just want to again reiterate what Dylan is saying is we're still going to have to follow our magistrate process, which means we only have a magistrate every other month. So even a tall grass where I give them 14 days as a reasonable time frame to respond, they don't respond. Then by the time they get on the magistrate hearing and I get the order to abate from the magistrate, it's still taking you 30 plus days. I just wanted you
To mow
be
the
aware of
grass.
that. But yes,
No, not
Mow
to
the
get it
grass.
mowed, but to get,
to mow the grass. To get the abatement order for the city to
To
mow
get
we
the
grass.
need
permission
something
to
that
go
we
out.
can get it mowed immediately. Is there a mechanism that can do that? And then
You'd have to get the order from the magistrate.
So can we have the magistrate meet every month? I mean, is that something that we can look at? I mean, I know it's a lot of paperwork, but on some of these things, it should be able to move pretty quickly instead of going every other month.
You can definitely do that. It is a cost to the city. There's a magistrate cost.
we have enough
But there's a
cases to
cost to the
justify
city
that
of
as-
allowing it
Yeah.
to stay
I
for
think
30 days.
I think we need to go once a month. There's a lot of things like that one by Trinidad Park. That's a disgrace. I mean, that fence, the high grass.
He's on the
That's
magistrate hearing tomorrow.
I'm
actually.
told- I'm-
Good,
I'm
good.
told
We'll
they
get
sold
somebody
that
to mow it.
property, too.
It was sold. Yeah, they're out of Miami. That's who's been cited and who should be at the meeting tomorrow, but probably will not show up. And they will get a fine per day.
Can you work that out with a magistrate?
Yeah, you want to have one once a month now. You don't want to look at the budget, or we just closed the budget deal, and it definitely does change. The
We'll
budget.
try it.
well, can you give us a report on your caseload that if we do it every month, we don't want him to come out for one case. You know what I'm saying?
But you have to commit one way or the other.
How many? I mean, you have at least 17 cases for this month.
Yes.
I mean, that's what it looked like on the
Yeah.
agenda.
Yes. No.
Okay.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
So that's quite a bit for
Mm-hmm.
to hold them off. So I mean, if you have 5 or 6 and can get things done quicker.
Does it have to be monthly, or can we make that judgment call 30 days out?
Yes, you can do special meetings. So if your regular scheduled meetings are every other month, then say we get a high grass amount that we say, hey, it's summertime, it's rainy season, we have a lot of high grass, we want to have a magistrate every 3 weeks. It's just a cost. We
think
can
that
do
makes-
that.
I think
It's
that
a
makes
matter of
more
us
sense.
doing an
Yeah.
agenda, bringing the case
Let's
file.
call a special
for the
meeting when
special
needed.
magistrate.
Yep, can do that. That'll work.
Thank you, Bill.
You're welcome.
That's all from me. Okay, thank you, Dylan.
Thanks, Dylan.
Okay, comments by the city commission, Commissioner Edmonds.
Good. Happy birthday, Hillary.
Thank you.
Commissioner Thompson.
Well, I'm glad to get past this. Once again, another budget, but I'm also excited I was able to keep the rollback rate and also make some significant improvements. Move forward. I think this team here did a great job, continue to do a good job, got a lot of momentum, and hopefully we can finish what we started.
I also am glad to see the final budget go through. So thank you again, Randy and staff, Danny, for all your hard work that went into that, making that process easy and seamless for us. I want to thank Tom for coming up and clarifying this stuff. You guys are running a good program, and I'm excited to see where you take that. And the code enforcement, that I like that we had that discussion. So thank you for bringing that up, Dylan. I'd really like to see us get some of these properties into compliance, whether we get them to do it themselves or we do it for them. So that's all.
Well, happy birthday, Commissioner.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. 2 things. Tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, if it's not raining, at the First Bank office at Burner Road, there is a prayer on the lawn for America. It's open to the public, and it starts at 6, and they just suggested that if you're going to come out, to please bring a lawn chair. The second thing is, again, on the annexation. I mean, I know we had the first reading back in July, and tonight was the final reading, and I'm excited about that because it really, truly gives us the first time since 1925 that we've expanded the city limits. And I think it's important, especially with the work that's been put into place for that piece of property for future development for the city. Not only that, but also Gateway South and North that we've approved, and I look forward to updates on that in the future. And I know, Danny, you're working on getting us updates, so I appreciate that.
Yep.
And that is residential and commercial property, so that's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe we won't wait another 99 years for the next one.
Hopefully that'll be developed before.
Yeah, there are exciting things coming up, so that's awesome. Yeah, I do ditto the comments and kudos to you guys. The only item I wanted to bring up is comment cards. I know the county and other boards have comment cards for public speaking or for public remarks. Is that something that I would like to entertain? That it'll do 2 things. If it's filled out a day or 2 before the meeting, we can get the answer by the time the meeting comes up.
You got it?
Oh, we got them.
That
But
way.
make
That
it
way.
mandatory. And then also it'll give us a chance to get those questions to the department heads. So maybe they may need to be here, or they can provide the answer for the comment.
I'll say this also, that's for comments. It's not for questions and answers. This is my question. I demand an answer. It's more for a comment on an
Sure.
issue, in my view.
We'll put it on our website, Kathy. So before people come to meetings, they must fill this out.
Well, they can come to the meeting, but it's just if they wanted to
Yeah, but I mean, you want it a
comment,
little before.
a little bit ahead of time, but.
Yeah, no, they could come in before the meeting and do one. That's
But it
fine.
would be
Okay.
nice especially if, I think what you're saying is if you have to research something by a department, that
Right.
is
Right.
research, so that,
Okay.
which makes
Someone
sense.
just has a comment. Well, this Explorer thing could have all stayed
Right.
between which I don't care if it comes to the public, but a lot of the negative comments could have been avoided had we known ahead of time. or had the chief known ahead of time, or somebody could have answered those questions. So it's just, it helps. And especially if there's a land question about the annexation, we could say, hey, go talk to Danny or go talk to Travis. They have the information. So not that we are trying to get rid of public comments, but it just helps streamline it so we can get the public an answer maybe quicker. So anyway, I just wanted to bring that up. So if we implement that and make it mandatory, we'll try it and see.
Will
if it
they still be
happens.
at the beginning of the meeting? You want public comment at the beginning?
Yeah, that's fine. We can do it anytime. I think we normally do it at the beginning because a lot of people don't want to stay for the whole meeting.
Right.
And then, of course, as you mentioned tonight, that everybody can comment on any of the agenda items at any time. So,
Throughout the meeting.
yeah, but it might, like you said, if they had any additional information they wanted beforehand, then that would be a good way to get that done.
But that's all I had. So thank you, everyone.
Move for adjourn.
Second.
Motion second. We are adjourned.
Great job.